So it's morning, and yeah, that didn't really go according to plan. Charging experience last night was unsuccessful. Turned out that car park had a significant nighttime restrictions. I didn't see it on the sign when I drove in, but it said no overnight parking, penalty fee £25. So yeah, that just didn't work. And also, when I actually tried to plug into the chargers, none of them worked. The only ones that did work were, strangely, some old 3-pin plugs that they've had there for a long time. They also had commando sockets, the 3-pin blue plugs, which is really weird. I guess that's been there a long time. They probably had those chargers there for a while. But anyway, so I had to leave, and I drove around Norwich city centre for about half an hour. I tried every single other car park that had a charger, and it was unfortunately closed and locked. Not because it normally would be, but because of the restrictions in place. So probably by the time you watch this video, it would be no issue. But I really do feel for people who've been having to travel around for work for the last 3 months with these restrictions in place, because so many of the parking areas with the 7 kilowatt chargers are just closed because there's no customers, there's no one coming into the cities, into the towns. So yeah, that was a real challenge. So I'm at 13% battery this morning, because my intention was to charge overnight. If I could have plugged in for 8 or 10 hours, I would have had enough charge to go home, or to stop once for a few minutes. But instead, I'm going to have to find a rapid charger. So yeah, let's have a look at what options there are available. So on the Polestar, when you get to the car and it comes up with this low range, do you want to find a charging station? So I'll click yes, and over here on the display we can see it's come up with a couple of different options. I think number 1 there, which is 9 minutes, is a Genie point, is probably my best bet. So I think maybe I will go with that one. And then, you know, you can see here we've got this, there's one there at the train station that is not that fast. And then over here we've got another Genie point. So this is where Google Maps really does help you out. It is so easy just to find another charging station. So if I was to navigate home, I'm going to type in Haywards Heath. There we go. And let's see what it says, because I was actually, the other option I was considering doing this. Let's take this slightly slower route back this way and click add a charging stop. I want to see what it comes up. Okay, well it takes away that route and it tells me to charge number 1 anyway, so that isn't that useful. However, what I was looking at earlier was Zap Map. So if I zoom out here on Zap Map, the route I was thinking of taking was this one. It takes me south on the A140, and there's a charger here in Dis. This is a BP Pulse location. It has 3 units, and they are all 150 kilowatts. So let's type that in. IP21 4AJ. Let's try that on here. Okay, so IP21 4. Putting that in because sometimes some of the new chargers are not in the database, so the postcode, it'll always get that right. So look at that, it's showing 22 miles on 13%, 1% on arrival. So that's the other thing that crossed my mind, is that I just go for it. But I don't know, I think that's riskier. I think it would make more sense to actually put, you know, even 5-10 minutes on a rapid charger if you're in a rush, you don't want to hang around here, would be better. But that other option did cross my mind, but I don't think I'll do that. 1% seems a bit a little bit risky. So let's rather go, was it this one? Yeah, that's the one. So let's go there and try out this Genie point and see what it's like. Okay, so we're charging at this Genie point charger. Yeah, this is the great thing about the Google Maps system in the Polestar. It really helps. I pulled up here. I've never used one of these Genie point chargers before. Downloaded the app, set it up, took about 2 minutes, and at least now I'm set up for the future. It's kind of annoying you have to do these apps, but yeah, it works absolutely fine. I think also the good thing is Genie Point used to charge you a connection fee, which was annoying if you just needed to do a quick charge, but I think that's gone away now. It's just a flat fee, which is really good because I don't really want to stay here very long. I have to be at work in 15 minutes, but this will give me enough time just to top up the battery enough so that I can get probably to that first BP Pulse location that I want to get to on the way home. So yeah, let's have a look at the charging curve on a Better Route Planner. So I just opened up a Better Route Planner and let's see what we get. So it's going back to this old plan, but let it load up. Okay, so we are looking here at the charging curve. it's showing 35.9 kilowatts, so it's quite slow. But yeah, I have no idea how efficient this particular charger is or how good it is. But yeah, it's a 50 kilowatt, and I think that's all I really need. Is probably 10 minutes or so on this charger, and then I'll have enough to head back this afternoon. And I'll stop, I think, at that first BP pulse and give the car a really solid charge there. Okay, so I've finished work and just planning now to head back home. Yeah, I was actually in Norwich to visit a couple of clients. One of them is called Bread Sauce, and this is an amazing bakery. So if you ever happen to be in Norwich or around this area and you want to try great, incredible freshly baked breads and pastries, this is a very impressive setup that uses our coffee that we use for our business. So yeah, heading back home now. I'm just looking at the map and trying to make a plan. So yeah, have a look at this. So if I create a plan to go home, it's sending me this way actually via Ipswich down towards Sussex. Looks like part of that road there is closed, which is the way I came up here. Now I'm going to need to charge because I only have 22% battery, topped up a bit at the Genie point, and now if I hit add charging stop, it changes the route and it takes me through an area that's going to take 4 hours and 22 minutes. So that's really annoying because that makes no sense. I don't really know why it's not simply adding a charging stop and letting me go on the route that it thinks is better, because I don't want to go that way with that road closed. So I'm going to go back and then let's try a better route planner. See if that gives me anything more useful. So set the starting point here, my position. And let's go. So loading the route, and it crashed, so that didn't work. So this is my point. I used ZapMap earlier and I had a look at some charging options, and I think I'm going to do what I suggested earlier, which was to go to this BP here in Dis. Now this is showing 39 minutes and arriving there with 12% battery, so that's absolutely fine. I'm going to start that and I'm going to head down there because I know that there's I think it's 350 kilowatt chargers, and I think that will work really well. I'll stop there, charge up, and carry on from that point on. Okay, so I'm charging up here at this BP, and there's 3 really nice 150 kilowatt units at this location. Didn't get the best charging speed, but again, I don't know, this just seems to be my luck. I don't seem to ever get anywhere near 150 kilowatts, and I did drive for a while today. Perhaps it's not as warm as it could be. Temperature outside is only about 12 degrees, but yeah, what I do like though is a better route plan. It's really good at showing the charging curve. So yeah, you can see here on the screen you've got 63 kilowatts showing down there, and this is the charging curve that we've got on the display. So it's quite nice to be able to see that, and you can see that it's sort of stepped up from you can see that stepping thing as it's showing the battery change and the information over time as well. So yeah, it's really nice to see that, to have this kind of information, but yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate that I don't seem to get particularly good speeds. But go back to Google Maps page here and I'll just show you. If I select heading home, and it says 2 hours and 29 minutes, so it's showing that I'm arriving there with 0%, 135 miles. So I probably need to charge to I'd say about 70%, and I might be able to make it. So yeah, I might just stay here for a while because we're at 61%. If I click add charging stop, Let's see what that... Yeah, that's starting to show some options further along the route now. But if I go back, it's still on 0%. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold out here for a little bit longer and see if I can just make this in one stop on the way back. And while I'm sat here, one thing I gotta say is this is a really nice charging location with 3 chargers. But I'm not gonna show them on camera because I don't think that's really very fair on people. But a Volvo pulled up and it's parked in one of these 3 spaces, right? And there are 3 other spaces in the car park, not for electric cars, that are free to park in. And they chose to park in the electric charging bay. I just don't get it. Like, why do people do that? It is so inconsiderate. I get it if you pull up to a charging space and you pull up to a car park and there's nowhere to park other than the electric car chargers. Okay, you leave your car there for a couple of minutes, you run in and grab something. Fair enough. That you have no option. But when you pull up in a big Volvo SUV type thing and there's 3 empty spaces in the car park within 6 meters, but you choose to block a charging location, I don't understand. It's really, really frustrating. Okay, I know no one else wants to charge, but why not just use a normal space? It just, yeah, I just don't get it. But yeah, there we go. So now it's showing 3% on arrival and we're at 69%, which I think is fair enough. I tend to use 2% as 2 miles for every percent, sorry. So say 70%, that should do 140 miles. So 136 miles to get back, yeah, at 4%, I think that'll do. And I might stop it again anyway, to be honest, just to grab a drink or go to the toilet. I could just top up a little bit more. Okay, so I've made it back and decided to do that last leg in just one go. I didn't actually feel that tired, or I didn't need to stop to go to the toilet, so that was really nice. And the interesting thing is I've actually made out quite a bit of battery. I got back with 12%, which is really good. I mean, if you know, what did it say on Google Maps? Something like 5%, I think. Made back nearly 6%, and I wasn't hanging around either. I was driving completely normally. There wasn't that much traffic. So it is really nice to see, even with the software updates, that Google Maps is still a little pessimistic for my driving anyway, and I managed to get a little bit more range than I expected. So coming back, I did 156 miles. I took a slightly shorter, that's a shorter route that I took back, although it technically takes a bit longer. And I think I arrive at that BP charger with something at like 12%, and I topped up to about 70%, and then got back, did the remaining sort of 120 miles on 70% of battery to get 12% when I got back. So I'm actually really pleased with the way that the Polestar is panning out. I'm just going to move the camera over this side. Yeah, so 32.5 kilowatt hours per 100 miles is what I got from this journey back today, and that works out as, I'm going to do the usual 72.5 divided by 32.5, 223 miles of range. Temperature's 12 degrees, it's 10 degrees now. It was never that warm. It wasn't cold, but it wasn't a warm day, and I started off with sort of 6-7 degrees. It was a cold night and a really cold start to the day. So I'm really impressed with that, actually. The charge I did at the Genie point probably heated the battery a little bit before, so that might have helped to get good range. But yeah, it's really nice to see the range improvements and how the car's performing with this warmer weather. And it actually got me thinking that in many ways, a lot of people who are interested in EVs are sort of pushing for longer range from the cars, and also for much faster charging. But while I was driving, I was thinking, right, think about this scenario. Say you have a car that charges at 120 kilowatts. What that's going to mean is you can put 2 kilowatt hours into the battery every minute. Now, if your car can do 3 miles per kilowatt hour, which this is roughly what the Polestar did today, is 3 miles per kilowatt hour. You are topping up your battery with 6 miles per minute. If you stay for 10 minutes, you're adding 60 miles. If you stay for 20 minutes, you're adding 120 miles. If you stay for 30 minutes, you're adding 180 miles. So if you think about that scenario, 180 miles on UK roads, unless it's the middle of the night, you're probably going to be driving for 3 hours or so. So if you stop for 20 minutes and put 120 miles into your battery, that's going to probably get you a couple of hours of driving realistically in the UK. And actually that's okay, I think, for many people, because most of the time people are doing local journeys. If you are doing longer drives, what we actually, I think, need to see in the UK is more chargers, more 150 kilowatt chargers, because my experience is that you do spend a lot of time thinking, okay, I need to make sure I'm going to a charger with more than one unit that's not going to be broken, that's definitely going to get me a charge. If there was a charge at every service station that was 150 kilowatts, then I don't think range or charging speed actually becomes the overriding factor. 350 kilowatt charging, yeah, that's great, charge quicker, but to be honest, I stopped for 20 minutes and I only just had enough time to go to the toilet, grab my food and charge up and then go. But what I'd like to see is a charger everywhere. So every single BP, every Shell, every service station, and not have to think about it. Be able to just think, you know what, I'm going to do 2 hours, but if I want to do 1 hour and 40 and stop earlier, that there'll be a charger to top up at. So I think that's what we need to see more. But I'm really impressed with the Polestar. It was really great to drive, so relaxing, sound system's amazing. And yeah, I hope this video has been useful, because it's really good to see consumption numbers down at like 32.5 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back again with another video very soon. Thank you.